The next thing we're going to do now is apply the cycle plugin on the home page of the French Alps website. So let's go ahead and open index.html in the browser and start applying the cycle plugin. Whoa, what happened to the CSS? Where is all the styling gone? We don't see any styling. We don't see the gray background color. We don't see the horizontal float for the links. Something's happening. When you encounter such a problem, the first thing to think about is if you made changes in your CSS file, which we didn't, then there must be a problem to the path because it seems that the browser cannot find the CSS file. So let's see what the problem is. If you open your index.html, you would find that you are linking your index.html to a file called style.css. Let's see where that file is. I don't see it here anymore. So what we did is we changed the location of the style.css. It used to be outside at the same level as index.html, but now we placed it in a CSS folder so that it's next to the lightbox.css folder for the purpose of organizing our work. So the browser cannot find it anymore. In order for the browser to find the style.css file, we have to tell the browser that our style.css file is in a CSS folder. So now let us save this and then refresh the page, and there you go. Okay, so our style is back, and there's one thing missing though. If you notice in the background, you see the gray background color, but the pattern effect has gone. So that's another issue that's happening, and let's fix that. Let's go to style.css and understand what's happening. If you remember, we have this little tiny image called button.png, which is found in the images folder. It used to create a pattern in the entire background right on top of that gray solid background color. But now it's gone. We don't see it anymore. We just see a nice solid gray. If we want that back, how do we place it back, and why is it gone? It's gone because, again, of the location of the style.css file. It used to work before creating the CSS folder because we were telling the browser at that point, find an images folder and look for an image called button.png inside of that folder, and please repeat it throughout the whole page. Now that the style.css is inside another folder called CSS, we should be telling the browser, please exit the CSS folder, then look for an images folder to find an image called button.png. So the way we say exit is by 2 dots and a /. Okay? So this way the path is right because the style.css now is in a separate folder called CSS, and the browser must exit that folder, look for an images folder, and locate the button.png file and repeat it. So let's save this and refresh the page, and that's the button. It's back. Okay, ready to move on to the cycle plugin execution. The cycle plugin is a complex plugin. It's not as easy as the Lightbox plugin, but a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and start. What it will do is basically it will allow us to have a cycle of several images, including this one on the page, and we'll have captions at the bottom and a pager on the bottom right. So I'm going to go to the cycle plugin. You know, if you Google cycle plugin jQuery, you must find it. This first one is what we're looking for. So jQuery cycle plugin. Now this is a website with the plugin available for free for everyone. It is made up of many pages, a lot of explanation, a lot of documentation to understand how to execute, implement, you probably have to spend time reading the documentation, understanding, making tests, going through these links, starting with the effects browser and so on. So it takes time to understand and download, install, and implement. But once it works, it's very rewarding. So I've done that entire work before, and now I just want to show you so that you learn through the process. So the first thing I want to do is, again, we land on a plugin and we look at the effects, and if we like them, then we decide to use it. We have the download here, download the cycle plugin, which contains the code, but we're not doing that yet. Let's go ahead and look at what we have. I want to first click on Effects Browser, and the Effects Browser will show me a list of the effects that the cycle plugin provides. For example, let's see what curtain X does. It does that curtain effect. Shuffle would do this shuffle effect if you like. Fade zoom does this fade zoom effect, and so forth. I'm looking for a horizontal scroll, and I believe scroll horse should be what I'm looking for. So a horizontal cycle is what I would like for the French Alps work to have. So I found it. Okay, it's good because it basically tells me that I'm on the right website. I found the effect that I'm looking for, and now all I need to do is understand how I should implement it. Let's look at the page source. Looking at the page source on Firefox is if you hold down the command key and hit the letter U, it takes you to the page source, which means the HTML that creates this very page. So what the page source is useful for, among many things, one thing is you can copy the whole code and use it yourself, right? But what I'm looking for here is I just want to understand what the name of the plugin is, where's the library, and things like that. So I will look inside the head element and look for the script tags that contain the plugin and the library. When I see Ajax, Google, APIS, and so forth, I immediately conclude that that's the library, and it's a library that exists somewhere online in a server. So what I can do is copy this URL and paste it, or I can click on it, and when you see this blue, a link with an underline, that's a link. So when you click on it, it loads the code for you. All of this is the code. This is the library, right? So you can take the whole thing and copy it and paste it. That's something else you can do. Now, where was I? Command U. The plugin itself is the second line of script right here, and it's called jquery.cycle.all.js. I know that because from the word cycle. So when I read the word cycle, I understand that this is the plugin and not the library. This is what will make the images cycle. Okay? So to get this file again, I can either click on it and get the file from here. I select all and copy and paste into Text Wrangler. Or I can go back to Cycle Home and just download the cycle plugin. And I'm being given options: the light cycle, cycle light, fewer options but tiny file size, full plugin with all transition effects. Let's take the first one, the cycle plugin, and there it is. So this is the plugin. This is the code that somebody generously provided for us for free, and we can just copy the whole thing. So Command A, copy the whole thing, Command C to copy, and then go to Text Wrangler, create a new file and paste it there. Okay, now I believe I closed the page by mistake, so I'm going to go back there and find the code again. under Effects Browser, Scroll Horse, Command U, that's it. So what is it called? What do I call the file? This is the code, but what should I call it? Because I have to, by all means, call it the same exact name as is written in the plugin. The reason for that is because there might be other files and there might be a relationship throughout these files, between these files, and you by all means have to keep the same name. So it's called jquery.cycle.all.js. Let's go ahead and save our file that same name. So Command S, in the French Alps folder, inside of the JS folder, okay, not somewhere else, inside of the JS folder, jQuery.cycle. What was it? jQuery.cycle.all.js. So save that. And once the file is saved, you will see color applied and so forth. So this is the plugin. Now we have the plugin. It is available in the JS folder. We need to have the two script tags here to link all these files together. So let's go ahead and copy those two lines. So you see, when you find the plugin and you want to install it, it's a matter of copying and pasting, but you need to understand what you're doing. Okay, so let me copy the library and the plugin, copy these two, and after your link, hit enter and paste them. And let's make slight changes, indent properly. And what I want to do is just make a change. So the library, I'm going to keep the way it is, no problem with it. The plugin, the source, I'm going to change to our own path because we saved this file within our JS folder, right? So instead of having this HTTP address, just write JS / and then keep the name of the file. Okay, save this and let's continue. So we have the file available, the library is online and there's a link to the library, and we are using the script tags in order to link everything together properly. Now, what is the next thing we want to do? Let's go back to the Cycle plugin and go back home. Let's go under Super Basic Demo. This is the super basic demo and it's a fade. Okay, the effect is fade, but all of these effects are part of the Cycle plugin. So whether it's a fade, a horizontal cycle, a zoom, it doesn't matter. These are the effects, but they're all part of the Cycle plugin. So it's the same principle, it's the same code, it's just a difference of effect. So what we're going to do here is go again to the page source by holding down the command key and hitting U. And we want to see what's happening, right? Because this is a very simple page. It's a super basic demo. And we can conclude a lot by looking at the code of the page. So there's not much on this page. There's obviously the head element that opens and closes. It contains the script tags, which we already copied and pasted into our HTML, right? This is the library, this is the plugin, but there's something else happening. And that something else is a third script tag. What is the script tag? We'll explain in the next video.